And we are live. What's up, Tiger fans? Welcome to the Sports Hub STL Missouri Basketball Postgame Show. I am your host, Kareem Russ, along with my co-host, Brenden Schaeffer over there. Say what's up, Brenden.
What's going on,
So
everybody?
we
How are
got
we doing
Brenden
tonight?
here. Yeah, so we got Brenden here, but this is our second show. We had our first show last game against that great win there at home against Alabama. But I realized we didn't get a chance to kind of give you guys kind of a rundown of what this show will entail and what to expect from our your soon to be new favorite show here at the Sports Hub. Kareem Rush here. A little history about me: Missouri basketball player from '99 to '02. I was part of the Quinn Snyder era. Quinn Snyder's first recruit, actually. Just a little accolades, not bragging my own, not to my own horn, but Big 12 co-freshman of the year in 1999, a two-time first-team All Big 12 selection in 2000 and 2001, as well as I'm not sure if I'm still the top all-time leading three-point percentage shooter in Missouri basketball history at 42%. And so coming from a place of expertise, and I've been there, I've been through the trenches, so hopefully I can add my expertise and insights to the show. And I'll let Brenden tell you a little bit about him before I kind of dive into the nuts and bolts of the show for all you Tiger fans out there. So, Brenden, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't have quite the accolades of Kareem Rush. And I do think percentage-wise, Kareem, you still are on the top of that leaderboard. But I graduated from Mizzou 2016. And my goodness, a big-time Mizzou basketball fan. And I've loved watching this Dennis Gates team be able to get things back to a place where we could be talking about Mizzou basketball in March and talk on the big show in Columbia, Missouri on KTGR about Mizzou Mondays through Fridays. But excited to be on here tonight with you, Kareem, as we break down a game that didn't quite go the Tigers' way. But you know what? Those are going to happen from time to time, as this was an Arkansas team that was pretty hungry tonight. And I think we saw the Tigers maybe fall a little bit susceptible to that.
But yeah, I mean, winning on the road is always tough, especially in the competitive SEC. And Arkansas was playing for quite a bit. I saw Joe Lunardi had one of their first four outs. So having this win against Missouri was a big stage for them and a big win for them. But a little bit more about the show. So in addition to our expertise and Brenden being an avid Missouri follower, we want to have this show be very centered around the fans and you guys input. So please flood our comments with all your questions, all your insights, so we can kind of have that drive the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're gonna have a lot of good stuff for you. In addition to having you guys be the fan centric and be the central part of our show, we're gonna bring on former Tiger legends, former athletes, past and present. They can tell you about their time in the black and gold, as well as kind of highlight some of their insights on our games, as well as we all know we got to talk about the money, talk about the moolah, and we don't have a gambling and betting aspect to what we do. Shout out to our boys over at the Domesticated Gamblers, who are our partners in the network. They're going to be giving all the gambler insights, for all the fans who partake in that part of the game. I'm not much of a gambler myself, but another story that I was sharing in the later segment, I just did some deals. My first actual betting tonight with underdogs. So I'll let you guys see my live results in a different segment. But again, jumping into the show, a tough loss to Arkansas on their home court. So, Brenden, what do you think are some of the key parts that we need to follow up on, what kind of led to this loss here? We had a great first half. We had an amazing first half from the bench. Caleb shot the ball well. Cruz came in and shot the ball well. Work hit some threes. But in the second half, we definitely struggled with knocking down those open shots, which I think translated to us not, coming out the victory. But what were your key insights on, what caused us to lose this match?
Yeah, Kareem, I think one of the big stats tonight that Missouri has done a pretty good job of this season, and tonight was maybe a little bit susceptible to the turnover battle. They didn't win it against Arkansas. The Tigers turned it over 18 times. Arkansas turned it over 16 times. So Missouri's still forcing a decent number of takeaways, but taking care of the basketball, I think tonight, Kareem, was a little bit of the issue. And when you combine that with just 33% shooting from deep, Caleb Grill not able to knock down very many of his threes, especially in that second half. He was just 2 for 12 tonight from deep. I think that was a contributing factor because when you're not getting the deep ball to go your way, which has been a strength of Mizzou this year, plus giving away too many of those possessions with the 18 turnovers, I think that in a road environment too, Kareem, you know how difficult it is to win on the road in college basketball. I think those
Yeah.
things just kind of snowballed a little bit on Mizzou tonight against a very desperate Arkansas team. As you mentioned, Lenardi has them right on that bubble. This is just a case where maybe Arkansas needed this one just so badly, and they found a way to get it.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they played well, from DJ Wagner. And they had a couple guys step up, for them, and of course the game. But again, like you mentioned, I think it came down to our, knocking down those open shots. Caleb had a lot of great looks in the second half that he normally knocks down. And I think that would have put us in a different position, kind of, for the outcome of this game. But regardless of how we play, we still have a very bright spot of Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell continues to play really well, continues to dominate everyone in his position. So tell me a little bit about what you thought about how Mark came out and played. He's played really well over the last 4 games, and he's really kind of been our focal point offensively. So tell me a little bit about what you thought about, Mark's game.
Yeah, I mean, Mark making 17 points tonight. He was 5 for 10 from the field and did a nice job at the free throw line, too. He continues to force the issue, absorb a little bit of that contact on the interior, and find a way to get to the line. And I love seeing him knock down those free throws. And he was still pretty active in the rebounding game as well. 5 defensive rebounds, a couple of rebounds on the offensive glass, and even chipped in a few assists. 0 for 2 from 3, that's not really his game. I think Kareem, in this case, he did a lot of the things that you like to see well. I would just circle that 6 turnover margin and say that that's one where, normally he would not be in that range in terms of the turnover game. It wasn't just him. It was a kind of a team-wide issue tonight. But even though he did a nice job filling the stat sheet, I feel like that was kind of one of the numbers that does unfortunately stand out from this road matchup. And we know in Bud Walton Arena, it can be very difficult to take care of the basketball with the crowd kind of bearing down on you. Arkansas fans, you got to give them credit. They did a good job tonight with how they supported their team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got a well-coached team with Calipari being there. So, like I said, they had, it was a must-win for them. And coming off a few, tough wins, that we've had, this is a big matchup for them. They closed it out for us. So, as we dive into the betting aspect, I don't know what the money line was, but can you give our fans kind of what the money line is? I know Mizzou didn't cover. I thought we were a point and a half at the beginning.
Yeah,
So obviously we didn't cover that.
Yeah, it was a 1.5 favorite for Mizzou today coming into the game. So, they were a little bit on the minus side on the money line, minus 135 or so, give or take, depending on where you looked. And look, I'm not going to go against Missouri in any case, but tonight I thought, boy, this one's a difficult one. I do appreciate the way that sort of the gambling community and Las Vegas out there looked at this Mizzou team and their recent results and said, hey, we're not going to doubt the Tigers. I just think when you stack up how desperate Arkansas should have been and clearly was for a win, Mizzou coming off that emotional win over Alabama and then having to go on the road to a team that you already beat, it can be very difficult beating that same team twice in one season. As much as I stayed away from this one, Kareem, I'm normally going to ride with the Tigers. I wasn't going to bet on Arkansas,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the new rivalry. I know you played back in the Big 12 days for Mizzou, but nowadays it's, that battle line in football has really become a thing. On the basketball court, it's the same thing as well. I couldn't have done it. I could not have bet on the Hogs. A lot of the St. Louis Cardinals fans, when I'm covering baseball, they have some trickle over effect, really like in Arkansas. That's not for me. I was all on Mizzou tonight. I saw it being a really difficult matchup on the road. And unfortunately for our Tigers, it played out that way, 92-85 out there in Bud Walton.
Yeah, I mean, great for them, for Arkansas. So kudos to them. It's time for our boys to regroup. So as we kind of segment into section 2, you got an ad for us if we want to read?
I sure do. I want to tell everybody a little bit about an exciting night we have coming up on the 27th of February at the Hot Shots STL Sports Hub STL kickoff party. It'll be at the new Hot Shots out on Lindbergh in Lee. Come out and greet the Sports Hub STL team, and you can enjoy great food and drink specials. Party's going to start at 6 o'clock that night as the Blues will drop the puck on the road against Washington. We'll watch the game together, have great prize giveaways, and the Blues Hub postgame show. We'll actually be broadcasting live on site from Hot Shots immediately following the game. Again, that date is Thursday night, February 27th, 6 p.m. at the new Hot Shots on Lindbergh in Lee. Hot Shots, St. Louis's home for all the games, all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. So, Kareem, that will be a great one for St. Louis fans to come on out to Hot Shots and hang out during that Blues game and then after. We've got this post-game show for Mizzou. Kareem, all the local teams are going to be having the post-game shows on Sports Hub STL. So that's just another example of what sports fans in the local area can get with our new content.
Yeah. Shout out to the team behind this venture. I'm excited to join the team. Come out to that event. It's going to be a great opportunity to meet some of the co-hosts and everybody affiliated with the network. So any keys that you want to touch on, Brenden? I got a great story to tell about my first gambling experience with Underdog as we kind of shift into that segment. But any topics, any polls that we're gonna address the fans, get them interacting, with us.
You know what, Kareem? I did want to give a little bit of a shout out to a positive element of tonight's game that we kind of talked about the negative a little bit, Mizzou falling short. But you and I were texting back and forth. Marquise Warwick had a really nice game tonight and was 4 for 6 from three, put on 16 points in this game, 6 for 11 from the field. That's one of the guys that, especially in the first half, we were kind of talking about the bench production. Dennis Gates is not afraid to extend his rotations. I thought that was very applicable in the first half with all the contributions the bench made. You like Marquez Warwick, though, tonight, being able to put the ball in the hole. I mean, 16 points from the bench. That was a pretty nice game for him.
Yeah, I mean, one of our strong suits all year long has been our depth. And those guys carried us that first half. I think we said between those three, they had 33 points. So I anticipated that carrying over to the second half. But again, we had a tough second half as far as shooting. But having Warwick be able to come off the bench and provide the scoring points that he has, he's a 20-point scorer. Coming from he was. So having that type of punch coming off the bench is only going to benefit us in the long run. He came out and played a great half. But the second half just didn't go our way. But again, it's great to see him playing well.
All right, so now you're telling me Underdog Fantasy. That's one of the new ventures that you're involved in right now, Kareem.
Yeah. So a little bit of shout out to Educated Spirits, my premium bourbon brand. Taste tradition in every sip. We're launching with our KU and MU editions, highlighted by me and my brother. So right now, reserve your own autograph collector set at educatedspirits.io. Again, iron tradition, one sip at a time. So randomly, I was connected with someone via LinkedIn a few days ago, and she's head of VP of Underdog, and told me they was really kind of interested in creating a spot here in Missouri as one of their primary focuses. So we're actually doing a co-branded event around March Madness for the bourbon and Underdog. And so they gave me some credits to start my first initial experience with betting. So tonight was my first time. And of course, I went all Mizzou. So I will give you guys the results live here on there. So let me see. I had a champion. So I had 5 picks. I had Mark Mitchell, higher than 21.5 points for points, rebounds, and assists. He was in the green for me. He finished with 27 total. Now, Kayla let me down tonight. Kayla was supposed to hit 2.5 threes. He only came in with 2. So he had those open looks at the end of the game. Yeah, he said open. I'm like, okay, I just need Kayla to knock down 1 for me. But he missed that. I had DJ Wagner at 17.5 points. He finished with 21. Tamar Bates got that last minute assist on that last minute three, so he covered there. And then I'm waiting to see if Bisovic, they registered 2 blocks. Currently, they said he's under 2.5, so he has 2. So if he goes through in green, then I win my first bet, $25 bet that pays out $180.75. So it may be the start of something I don't want to be addicted to, but if I win one, it may be a start of something special. So shout out to Underdog. I'm gonna tell Dave need to lock in a sponsorship ad for us on our show. We'll get a parcel.
We'll talk with Underdog. I've got some experience with Underdog. They're a lot of fun and available now to play in Missouri. I'm still kind of kicking myself, Kareem, from I know this is a basketball show, but during the Super Bowl, I needed a little bit more out of Mahomes in the rushing category to really hit it big. But that's what's so fun about Underdog for sure. And you mentioned kind of the betting angles of all of it, and you talk about domesticated gamblers. Folks that subscribe on the Sports Hub STL channel can check out their content every Friday at noon. They do an awesome job giving all the betting angles on all of the local teams.
Great. Yeah. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell all your family and friends to follow us. This will be your soon-to-be favorite Missouri show. So closing, like I said, as we prepare for our next opponent, as we kind of rebound from this loss. So tell me a little bit about who we got coming up next. We're closing in, to finishing the season. We're trying to stay, obviously the top half of the SEC, for purposes of tournament purposes. So tell me who we got coming up next. Tell me a little bit about what we need to expect and how the keys to victory for us to knock that one out.
So this one's actually kind of interesting, Kareem. I would have said that before today, I'm concerned about that next game because it's Mizzou taking on South Carolina on Tuesday. And the thing to know about South Carolina is they don't have a conference win all year, so they should be motivated to try and pick somebody off. However, tonight, South Carolina knocks off the Texas Longhorns, one of those teams that's
Oh,
on
wow.
that tournament bubble, 84-69, which is not to say that they're going to rest on their laurels coming into Mizzou Arena, but I feel like they kind of got over the hump finally. Mizzou going to be coming off of a tough loss, Kareem. This one feels a little bit different in terms of motivation. Tonight, it's not to say that Dennis did not have his guys motivated. Arkansas really needed this win.
They
I
did.
think Mizzou coming back home is going to really need a win against a team that they finally got the elephant off their back. So if Dennis Gates can have his team really motivated coming into the next one, that could be a way to make sure Mizzou gets back into the win column against a team that's kind of down on their luck this year. But honestly, they finally got the win they were searching for. Maybe they'll be satisfied with that one, and Mizzou can kind of pick them off on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. They're trying to play spoiler, as most teams do towards the end of the season, kind of ruining our season. So, but we are coming back home. We're 17-1, one of the best records, as far as home records in the nation. So I am confident of us coming back home and taking care of business. So, anything else to add to our Tiger fans? Like I said, we didn't have many in the comments today, but again, be sure to like and subscribe to us. Chime in. We want to hear your comments. We want to have you involved in the show to steer our conversation. We'd love to hear from you. So, to all Tiger fans out there, MIZ, the boys can get it done tonight. But they come back ready for Tuesday, and we look forward to kind of bring you the post-game show then and there.
Absolutely, Kareem. And look, at the end of the day, this Missouri team is NCAA tournament bound. So we're going to have all kinds of Mizzou basketball coverage coming up over the weeks ahead. Stick with us. As Tim said, hey, the domesticated gamblers gave some good bets for the weekend. A tough loss is going to happen. That's what Mark chimed in with. Mizzou basketball has a few games left on this season. I think, Kareem, they're going to finish strong. And when they enter into the month of March, we know that's where legends are ultimately made.
Absolutely. Until next time, folks, we'll see you guys later.